You know, it's me scrolling these internet streets. When I was on the New York Post and I saw this, it says mother of five lost her life by her ex, where he took her life, then took his life, and she did it protecting her children. So let's read this story. By the way, this was posted today, August 12th. A mother of five lost her life by her ex-boyfriend in a taking her life, his life situation, and she died trying to protect her children, according to the grieving family members. The name of the man is Xavier Harrison. He's 30, and he allegedly shot Daniel Rivera, who is 40 years old, 30 and 40, in front of her 16-year-old daughter outside of an abandoned American Legion post in southern Illinois, and then he turned that same weapon on himself just before midnight on Saturday. Police in Cahokia Heights said that the pair were in a relationship. However, the lady, Daniel Rivera's family, is stating that the two had a history, but they were not dating. They claim that that man, Harrison, had been harassing her for years. Now, Rivera's family believed that she agreed to meet Harrison that very night because she wanted to protect her children and her mother, who lived with her. And I'm assuming protect them from him. Quote, the only way I can best describe it is if she didn't go and pick him up, then he would have probably gone to her residence, and there would have been a lot more harm and tragedy than what occurred in that car. End of quote. Teresa Fuedo told KSDK. In Colorado, is that a concealed carry state? We're going to look that up. We're going to find that out. But let's keep going. The person continued to say, we lost her, but she went on protecting her kids. She did what any mother would do. She basically put her life out there to save ours, Rivera's mother, Karen Rivera, said. Remember, the mother and the children lived with her, and I guess she had a fear that he would have came to the home and caused harm to her mother and her children, so she went to meet him and gave herself instead. Rivera's 16-year-old daughter witnessed the pew-pewing, and then she ran for her life and called 911, according to Rivera's niece, who goes by the name of Aubrey Rivera. The slain mother previously obtained an order of protection, that's nothing, guys, against Harrison in March. Pause. I'm just going to stop for a quick second and say, if you're getting an order of protection and that doesn't come with a license to carry and a few days in a week at the range learning how to the order of protection does nothing. Unless you're going to use the paper cut him to death, the order of protection does nothing. That should be the beginning stage of protecting yourself, which means it comes with more. You're going to be trained in throwing a knife from 15 steps away. So when he comes to your door, you grab the knife, you know what I'm saying? And it's in his neck. You are now licensed to carry. You go to the range, you practice, and you know how to, you understand what I'm saying? The paper is literally just paper. I've never heard of an abuser that cared about a piece of paper. Actually, from my knowledge, you get more angry because now you got the law in their business. So let's not, we're going to have to discuss that a little bit more. So she had obtained an order of protection against him in March, but that order was dismissed weeks later in April, according to court documents reviewed by KSDK. And just last month, another woman obtained an order of protection against him. So he was infamous for this. Just last month. So we're in August, so in July, somebody else had to go get one. A third woman had one against him since 2019. He'd been about that life. I know that woman from 2019 and the woman from last month is looking on right now and saying to herself, as crazy as this might sound, thank God it wasn't me. It could have been me. Wow. So the guy by the name of Harrison, that comes from Bellsville, had previously threatened to take that lady's life and take the life of the members of her family that also resided in her home. And that left her fearful for their safety, according to her family. Her sisters estimate that over the past few years, there were 50 DV calls against him at two of her homes in Illinois, just across the Mississippi River from St. Louis, Missouri. Now, details about what led her and him to be together before the pew-pewing were not immediately clear. The Post has reached out to the Cahokia Heights Police Department for additional information. Family members said that Rivera was a sole provider for her 5 children and her mother. working long 12-hour shifts to support them. Quote, she loved her kids with her whole heart. There wasn't anything she wouldn't do for them. Rivera's mother, Karen, will help raise her daughters, her 5 children, her family says. We're going to pause and we're going to go over to see what is Colorado's view on weapons. Pause. Okay, so went over to Google and I typed, do you need to have a concealed carry to have a firearm in your motor vehicle or in your home in the state of Colorado? And it stated that you do not need a permit. Colorado is not a concealed carry state. Now, of course, if you want to take it outside your home, if you want to go into certain spaces and places, yes, you're going to need to have a concealed carry, especially if the business states clearly that no firearms are, allowed on the premises, then yes, for that, you would need a concealed carry. But just to protect yourself in your home, you can have a weapon. To drive around in your motor vehicle, you can have a weapon. To protect your place of business, you can have a weapon. So for the women living in Colorado that are facing DV situations, of course, we're speaking on the back end. And I believe for any and every situation, there's a learning curve. There's a training that can happen. There is something that can be done, that can be applied to prevent possibly the same situation from happening in the future. I don't believe in just telling tales, reading stories, and then just moving on from it. If there's not something to be learned, then we're wasting our time. We're just reading about it and then just doing what? Moving on. So for the women that live in specifically in the state of Colorado, okay? And of course, there's certain states that we know you can have your weapons. I know Virginia is one, Florida is one, and so many of the other states. New York just came out that you can have a concealed carry here in the state of New York. So if you're living in New York, go get your concealed carry. As long as you're not a felon, right? Then you can get your concealed carry. Why not? Okay? But we're speaking about this specific case in Colorado. It states, no, you do not need a concealed carry permit to have a weapon inside your home in Colorado. Under Colorado law, a permit is only required to carry a concealed firearm in public spaces, not within your own dwelling, your place of business, or property that you own or control. Home possession rules. No, a permit is not needed. You can legally keep, own, and possess a firearm inside your house without any state-issued permit or firearm registration. Moving inside the home, you have the right to keep or carry a firearm within your private dwelling for self-defense. And public versus private, permits only apply when transitioning to carrying concealed weapons outside of your private property or vehicle constraints, which means that you can travel with a weapon in your car. And you can be in your home and own a weapon. So for my women in Colorado specifically, based on this case that happened in Cahokia Heights, Colorado, a woman, a mother of 5, who was a sole provider working 12-hour shifts to provide for her mother and her children, who lost her life to DV. We're going to speak about it in Colorado. You need a weapon. An order of protection is just a piece of paper. So unless you're going to put the paper in your palm and slap him with it, you're doing nothing with that piece of paper. That paper just gives you paper trail when you got to him when he tries to come through your window or your front door, or you wake up in the night and he's in your house. That's all the paper gonna do. It's gonna give a paper trail in how we got to this point of me having a shooter. Your Honor, he's been a problem for me. He's been harassing me. I went through the court system. I did everything I was supposed to do following the law, as I believe in the law. He would not stop. And as in this case, we found out that 2 other women had to take out orders of protection against him. So he's been a problem. Let's be clear. And he took it to that extent. He had been threatening my family. We need to be recording phone calls here. If he's calling and he's giving those types of threats, recording needs to be made. And see that we're going the legal route and we're going down by the station. We're getting the order of protection, but we're also playing that recording. Just talking to them on the phone and not recording those calls, unless Colorado is a state that you cannot record phone calls. Let's find that out. Well, as you can see, I looked it up. Can you record phone calls in Colorado without consent? And it says, yes, you can. You can record a phone call in Colorado without the other person's consent as long as you are a participant in the conversation. Colorado is a one-party consent state, okay? So, we're going to, again, this is not victim blaming. I know some of you might want to holler, please go sit down. Again, if we're reading these stories, if we're into these news reports, if we're seeing it, if we're understanding that this is a real problem that a lot of women are going through and some men are going through, And we're not coming to ways to try to hinder it, prevent it, and to protect ourselves, then what are we doing? We're just reading the story and then what? I don't believe in that. I believe that there's something that can be applied, situations that we can look into, and then we can use it to apply and provide training and safety protocols based on that. Okay? So, in this situation, again, may she rest in peace. May her family recover. I wish the best for those children. But let's get into how we can possibly do things to help ourselves. Because even if you dial 911, let's be clear, it's going to take some time for them to come to your home. And if it takes 5 minutes for them to get there, that's 5. Have you ever been in a fight for 30 seconds? It's very long. Have you ever been in a fight for 1 minute? Believe me, it's long. You're tired. After 1 minute, you are tired. Unless you're a trained boxer and you do MMA, where you're in the gym skipping and running how many miles every single day, you're tired. 60 seconds of fighting, you are get up on me, bitch. Like, you're tired. Okay? You're tired. I'm gonna tell you that. So 5 minutes of waiting for law enforcement to come and save you is a very long time. Anything and everything can happen in 5 minutes. Okay? So again, let's continue with what we're saying here. Recording phone calls for proof of the threats that have been placed against your life, the threats that have been placed to your family's life. You're a mother, you have 5 children, and even if you're not a mother, you are somebody's child. So what are we doing? Recording the phone calls. Those will be taken to the police station to help with the order of protection to make sure that it's not dropped and dismissed later on. He is an actual problem, Your Honor. He is. And here's proof. This is him calling and threatening me. You guys need to stop being lenient with these individuals. Now, pause. I'm not saying she was. But I personally know situations where they were lenient. Oh, I don't want to get him locked up. I don't want to get the law in our business. Oh, my God, we don't want to get the law in our business. The law going to be in my business because you should have never did it. So since you're doing it, obviously you want the law in your business, because if you didn't want the law in your business, you wouldn't have been doing it. I ain't going to have the pity for you that you're not having for me. I'm not going to be out here having pity for you when you're not having the pity for me. And if you're calling my phone and you are threatening me, you don't even need to be threatening my children and my mother. You're threatening me. You don't have no pity for me. That's not love. And we need to start there. It's not love, guys. It's not love. It's not love. It's not love. It's not love. Believe me, it's not love. And we need to start taking these threats very seriously. Record the phone calls. If you live in a state that you can record the call. That's something you should be taking to the police station. That's something that you should be showing up to court with. And if you live in a state where you can have a weapon in your household for protection and you know that you are under threat, mind you, I believe in protection here. Okay, so I support certain laws. Now, we don't have to agree on this. Now, if we do not agree on having weapons, then I don't know how to tell you to protect yourself. Hopefully, when you call law enforcement, it can get there before he does what he came here to do. For the ones that do believe in carrying, not only do you could purchase it, it's not that expensive. You can get pistols for $300. You can get pistols for $250. I remember buying a shotty for $250. Like, come on, you can get them. Go buy one and go down by the range, because you need to know how to aim that properly. You need precision and accuracy, and it's not that hard to get, because when you go to the range, especially if you're trying to do it just for self-defense, you're not trying to be a tactical SWAT, enforcement military guy. No, you just need to be able to, you just need body mass. Body mass is from the neck to the torso. It's not hard to hit. You're not trying to hit the genitals. You're not trying to put one between the, You ain't trying to be that. You're not trying to be a sniper and all that. You just need to be able to protect yourself and your family. So you need to be able to hit that body mass. So the range is a necessity, precision and accuracy. Recording these phone calls, taking that down there to get your paper trail, which is your order of protection, and to make sure it's not dismissed, you need proof. And I understand the psychology behind DV. So I understand that, sometimes you go through it and the manipulation and I get that aspect of it. And personally, I know women that are into DV. So if you are one of them, I'm obviously not talking to you. I'm not asking, I'm telling you. I know women personally that don't have a problem with DV. They like it. They gonna be the first one throwing a punch. And if he don't put hands on her, she's not happy. Okay? I'm not talking to you women. Obviously, you don't need no help. You good. But you're right. But for situations like this, The order of protection is just paper trail. So that when you eventually, and hopefully not, but possibly, have to hit him in body mass, blah, 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 you can go to court and beat your charges. No, don't go out there headhunting. Okay, you're going to jail. But you must protect yourself. And in this case, you must protect your family. And unfortunately for this lady, she had 5 children. There's 5 children without a mother. The 16-year-old daughter had to witness her mother losing her life. And unfortunately, the mother felt like the only way to protect her family was to go meet him and to give herself over so that she could protect her family. Lost her life in that. And had her 16-year-old daughter witnessing it. That girl is going to need therapy. They're about to struggle. The mother, she was the sole provider for the family. Now, I think they might get some social security checks because if the children are under 18 and a parent passes, the government will send checks. Allegedly, I've never had it done, so I don't know, but that's what I've heard. So, there might be some form of income coming in from the government, but then the mother's now probably going to have, how old is the mother? She's 40. And we're going to remove Miss Danielle Rivera from the situation because I don't want her children to watch this, her family to watch this and get in their feelings about it. But so let's take her out of the equation. Just for women in general. Men, because some men is out here going through DV, child. So just people in general. We got to stop finding certain things funny. And we have to stop taking certain things for a joke. We need to find a seriousness in things that are stated. If you're dating an individual and he says he cannot live without you, you shouldn't be dating him. I'm going to repeat that. I know there's somebody that's heard me and say, what's the big deal with that? I've said that to my partner. Well, you a big walking red flag. I'd have told him not to date you. There should be nobody in this world that you cannot live without. How do I breathe without you? You'll be fine. Don't let nobody tell you that they can't live without you and breathe without you because these are the instances where you find your situations like this. Don't be dating people that don't have nothing to gain or nothing to lose in life. Don't date somebody where you're their entire world because when you leave that person, if you leave that person, then guess what? Now, allegedly, he can't live. She can't live without you. So now they're coming to take your life because they don't have nothing to live for. They had nothing to gain, nothing to lose. So they're willing to take themselves out. And in a very selfish and unaccountable, irresponsible, disgusting way, they're going to look at it like you're the problem in their life. Because you left them, now their life is in shambles and it's dismantled and everything is going terrible and you're to be blamed. And so now that I want to take myself out of here because I'm going through whatever I'm going through, I'm about to come take you too. And if you're dating a person that's inconsiderate, a person that has no conscience, then you have to understand they're not going to think about your kids. And sometimes they are the father of that child. They are the mother of that child and they're still not thinking about that child. Some of them are willing to Chris Watts you. That means they're taking out the entire family and he's the father to them kids that he's taking their lives. I love you to death is not oh my God, baby. It's what? I gotta haul ass out of here. We need to really be having conversations now. When I say having, again, I'm not speaking about this lady. I'm putting her to the side. I'm talking about everybody, including myself. I've never been to a DV, but it's never too late to have to shoot somebody. Okay, so, I'm going to just speak to all of us. Anything can happen to anybody. It only takes a bat for you to be punched. You know what I mean? But we need to have plans. You ever went to a building and they ran a fire drill? You ever worked somewhere and they had fire drills and they said that if a fire starts, of course, nobody can use the elevators and we're going to meet up in the parking lot over there under the big tree. In schools, they run plays. When I say run play, I mean they run drills on if a fire happens in school, what should the children do? How they should stand up, line up, follow the teacher, don't be panicked, everything is okay, we're going to meet under the tree. You do that enough, it takes away the panic and the fright. How does that apply to DV? Well, for me, this is just my 2 cents, is if you already have it in your mindset that one time putting their hands on you is enough, because you already have it in your mind, when they do it, you're out. Let me say that again. I don't want you to hear what I said, just in case you're not understanding what I'm saying. For me, a DV ain't going to work, no matter how much I'm in love with you, because I already have it planned to get up out of there. I already have a plan to not date you in the first place. So my vetting process is extenuous. I don't care. I don't need no form of penis that bad, and I definitely don't need a partner that bad. Single is not that bad for me. I'll be out here lonely. Lonely. I'm gonna stay lonely because I don't want nobody to beat my ass. You get the point? So one time is enough for me because I've already drilled that into my own head. And again, certain things are red flags to me, and I do not go past. I don't need you to explain a red flag. If the red flag is there, I'm out. I don't care who says what and how, who feels what about it. If it's a red flag for me, I'm out. Cheating is a red flag. If you cheated in the past, I gotta dip like a chip. Why? I already see how you handle situations, and I don't have time for it. I'm gonna waste my life with you. I'm gonna waste my time with you. Because 5, 6, 7 years from now, when you feel bored because you're the person that needs a lot of excitement, then you're gonna do that. And I just wasted 5, 6 years. Now my children are about to come from a broken home when I would prefer to find somebody that's not on that type of timing. It's a red flag. I'm a dip. Telling me that you love me to death, that's red flag. I'm out. Dip. Again, I'm not speaking specifically about Ms. Danielle Rivera. I do not know all the specifics of their situation. I'm just speaking for the rest of us because every situation is a training and a safety protocol that we can learn. There's something we can learn from every situation. Paper, order of protection, cannot do nothing unless you plan to put that paper in your palm, smack him with it, and then get active. And there's a 9 out of 10 possibility you're about to lose that fight. But if you're willing to put up a fight, I love that for you. You got the heart. But just know that you got to get up out of there, okay? The paper is just the precursor to you having, if you live in a state where you can have your weapons, having your consent to carry, go get the consent to carry. But get a weapon if you can get a weapon and have it in your home. Go to the range. Practice how to use that weapon. Take a few self-defense classes to know how to, at least, again, it's not to beat him and starring in enough like you're Jennifer Lopez. No, it's just to get about the situation. Kick him in the nuts, hit him in the throat, hit him in the, you know what I mean? Break the nose, go up, right? Hit him in the, hit him in the nuts, bow. Because a woman punching a man to his stomach, unless you Clarissa Shields, you probably ain't feeling it. Okay? So I ain't gonna tell you to be ha, ha, ha. Your ha, ha, ha is one ha for him. You probably out after that. I'm not about to tell you to try to Vin Diesel and whoever else. What's that guy's name? Walker, Texas Ranger. I'm not telling you to do all that. You're going to lose, ma'am. High probability about to lose. But taking a self-defense class is just to get yourself out of that situation, to run, to get up out of there, get law enforcement, and you better press all the charges you can press while you have all the marks on you. Record all them phone calls. Set up recording cameras in your home. Catch every single time. If you know that he's about that and you need the order of protection, cameras in your bedroom, cameras in your bathroom, cameras in your kitchen, cameras in your garage. Because you need proof to go get that order of protection. And you better get away, ma'am. And stay away. And this is another one that's going to be very controversial, but I'm going to say it and then I'm going to get up off of here. If you are dating somebody that is below you, man or woman, but I'm going to really talk to the ladies out here. If you're dating somebody that's in a tax bracket below you and he needs you, he needs that 50%, be very careful. Be very careful. If you're dating somebody that's possessive, if you're dating a person that has a trauma story where they're telling you that their mother never did this and their sister never did this and their auntie never did this and their granny never did this and their daddy was never there and oh my God, the story's sad. I heard you. He needs therapy, sis. He don't need you. Trauma bonding is one of the worst things you can do because that's how you get stuck in these DV situations where you think this is love. Because it's the only love you received. And even though he's doing all these crazy things to you, he sticks around. Mind you, a lot of people have done crazy things to you. They never stuck around. He's sticking around. The sticking around is actually the worst thing for you. But I get the psychology of it all. Get your paper trail, which is the order of protection. Make sure you have enough evidence for the order of protection. Record those phone calls. Set up video cameras in your home, in your car, everywhere. Get every single piece of evidence you can get. If you got punched, thumped, rumped, bumped, thumped, whatever you got, make sure you have pictures of it. Make sure you get some recording of it while he bugging and thugging in there. Take that to get your order of protection. But the order of protection is just the first thing, or better yet, while you're getting the order of protection, you should have a pistol in the crib. I'm just saying. While you're going through the court system, you should have a pistol in the crib. And when all them threats is coming about him pulling up to the crib, well, guess what? Now we need some security cameras. My 16-year-old daughter should know where it's at and how to use it. My mama for sure need to get active with it because she needs to know. We probably need a couple in the crib. And I'm plotting to J-Lo him. The only difference is this ain't gonna be hands and feet, knees and teeth. It's gonna be bullets. Because I have my children to take care of. I have my mother to take care of. I have myself to take care of. I have a life to live. And I ain't gonna lose it because of you. So if it ever comes down to me and you, you're out of here. And I stand 10 toes on what I just said. I do not promote violence. I do not promote just out here doing, no. But self-defense, I promote, I participate, I support self-defense all the day of your life. Go take some classes. Know how to hit him in the throat, know how to break the nose, know how to stick him in the eye, know how to hit him in the nuts properly. Because there's a skill to kicking in the nuts. Because if he closes his legs and he overpowers you, then, whoa, ma'am, oh, shit, you're about to get fucked up. You know what I mean? Like, you trying to, you punch him in the face, miss, you probably not doing nothing. But if you can catch him off guard with a two of them, you on your way to something. Get up out of there. And I know a lot of people, because I've spoken to women that says, you know, they don't want to take somebody's life. And there was love there. And ma'am, come here. I want you to listen to me. The love you have for him, he don't have it for you, obviously. Because he's willing to not only threaten you, but highly probably follow through on that threat. If you're okay with that, you got to run the drill in your mind from the get-go. I'm not okay with that. And once you put that in your mind, I am not okay with that. Do not, in any way, shape, or form, shift on that. Stand 10 toes on it. I'm not okay with that. And after the first time, because I'm not saying you can't get your ass beat. Let's be very clear. Anybody can get their ass beat. Anybody. Grown man, young man, everybody. Everybody can catch hands. And you might be put in a predicament where after it happens, he's holding you hostage. You can't even get up out of there. But your plotting and your planning needs to be crazy. I'm saying, may she rest in peace. We're almost 20 minutes in. I just realized I was chatting the whole time. Let's get back over there and give me a second. So I want to find a video on YouTube from the news report. So let's watch this video and then we're going to hop into the comment section and see if there's any comments because this is Read the Comments and we're going to see what people are saying. But let's watch this video real quick about the news.
Tonight, police in Cahokia Heights say a murder-suicide stemmed from domestic violence. We are learning the woman sought legal protection before she was killed. Megan Kernan is live at Cahokia Police Department.
Police here say this wasn't a random act of violence. They believe Danielle Rivera was killed by someone she knew, her boyfriend. Tonight, advocates say this tragedy is also a reminder that an order of protection alone can't always stop an abuser.
It's always unfortunate to hear when a survivor is killed by an abuser, and it's unfortunately a reality for many.
Cahokia Heights police say officers were called to the abandoned American Legion parking lot on Delano Drive just before midnight Saturday. Investigators found 40-year-old Danielle Rivera shot inside a car. Nearby, they found 30-year-old Xavier Harrison dead outside the car from what police believe was a...
Pause. Didn't mean to pause, but I needed to pause. Abandoned. So he told her to meet him at an abandoned parking lot. Now, there's two things in my mind. Remember the part where they're saying that she wanted to protect her family? And because he was threatening to come to the home to cause harm to her, her kids, and the mother, she went to meet him in an abandoned parking lot. I've heard a lot of women speak on fear. Being in a abusive relationship, and the fear is what cripples you. The fear of that person, the fear that that person puts in you for putting hands, feet, knees, and teeth on you is what they get you. Now, I, again, never been in DV, so I never had that fear. But growing up as a child, I had a parent that used to put fear. That's the one I know about. And people like that feed off the fear. They look for people that they find to be weak, whether it's their children, it's their partners. And they manipulate you first, break you down mentally, emotionally, make you feel like nothing. Again, speaking on behalf of myself here, not from a DV standpoint. And then instill fear of you, and then they feed off that fear. That fear makes them feel like the biggest person in the world. And the thing that I learned from that, and again, as a child, is to never let nobody put that much fear in you. And the more you fear them, is the more you need to kill them. Pause. Okay, let me take that back, because that just sounds crazy. I'm not trying to, you know what I mean? What I mean is, the more they put the fear in you, is the more of a danger they are to you. Again, a lot of women tell me that the reason why they stayed is the fear. I feared him. I was scared of him, petrified of him. You know, somebody that's putting hands on you and but guess what? You're not locked into a cell with him. The prison is in your mind. And that's where they want it to be. They want you to feel like there's no other option. It's in your mind. That the more fear they attempt to instill in you, the more danger they are to you. So the fact that she was so fearful of him actually coming to the home tells me that she knows what he is capable of. But it also tells me that she thought that she could talk him off the ledge. So much so that she brought her daughter with her. The daughter could have lost her life too. The more fear they put in you is the more danger they are to you. Which means the more you need to take actions to protect yourself. And if not for yourself, please do it for your kids. Because there's so many people, men and women, that are taking the lives of these children just to hurt you and harm you. I'm going to do another case where I saw that the man took his own child's life. They lived in Canada. Him and the mother separated. He was so upset about it. He kept trying to take the child to Europe. A little girl, I think she was 9. And he kept trying to take the child to Europe with him. The mother consistently said no. And she said she started to find it a little bit weird that he was consistently trying to take the child to Europe. But then he said he wanted to take the child to New York to do something like a hike or a camping or something. And that is what the mother agreed to. All the trips to go overseas, she said no to New York. And you know what he did? You know what he did to that little girl. And then told the dumbest story ever. Just stupid. So of course he was caught. You know what he told law enforcement? That he should have taken her to Europe. Because he'd have gotten away with it. Look out for that story, because I'm going to put it on the channel. Because when I read it, I couldn't even do it at the time. I think I read it yesterday. And I was so befuddled. I just said, I don't even want to do this story. But I'm realizing probably I do need to do that story. For us to start following your intuition. And I know when I say this part, people are going to be offended and going to be like, bitch, shut up. And maybe you're right. But the before, the vetting process, the getting to know him, the dating process is going to be the most important thing to you. 3 months and 6 months is not long enough to know somebody. I said what I said and I mean it. This is all observation. Because there's so many people that I know personally that are dating and they're not being themselves while they're dating. Everybody tends to put their best foot forward. I believe in stepping how you've been stepping. You should be stepping the right way anyways. And this is going off the saying, put your best foot forward. How about you just keep doing what you were doing? And if you're enough, you're enough. And if we're not compatible, we're not compatible. But most people don't do that. Because most people don't feel like they're enough. And they either try to use trauma bonding, love bombing, or any of these other techniques and tactics which are very manipulative to get people. And then so many other people are just open to it because they're desperate to find love. And I understand the concept of yearning for love. But not at the expense of your life. Let's continue with this video.
Self-inflicted gunshot wound. Police say the two were in a relationship. Year-old Xavier Harrison dead outside the car from what police believe was a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Police investigators found 40-year-old Danielle Rivera shot inside a car. Nearby, they found 30-year-old Xavier Harrison dead outside the car from what police believe was a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Police say the two were in a relationship, calling the case a murder-suicide tied to domestic violence.
The Coquille Heights Police Department has a policy in place, and we're a resource to get you help, to get you moved out of that home, or get you the resources to help deal with that.
Chief Thomas Trice says multiple people called 911, and one caller reported hearing the couple arguing before the gunshots. Court records show Rivera previously had an order of protection.
I remember asking women, I keep pausing it because things are coming to my mind and so I'm speaking with you. Plus, I'm talking to you. Go find a video on KSDK News channel if you just want to watch it fully. You know, me talking is not what you want. I understand. But there's a reason why I'm watching the video, so let me speak. I remember talking to a woman one time, and I remember saying to her, if you know you're in a, again, please do not be offended. It's a question I asked because I truly wanted to know. But if you're in a DV situation, right, and you know that he'll put hands, feet, knees, and teeth on you, you catch it. Why are you arguing with him? Now pause. I do know that there's some people you can't get around the argument because if you don't answer, he gonna get at you because you're not answering. And if you do answer, anything you say is gonna be the wrong thing because he just want to put hands, feet, knees, and teeth on you. Which again, he don't like you. He don't like you. And even if you in your mind believe to yourself that he loves me, he just does not know how to show me love, then why? Let me not say why. Do not be with a person that cannot show you love. You deserve love. Don't let them tell you you're fat. Don't let them tell you you're ugly. Don't let them tell you whatever they're going to tell you to try to break you down. You got 5 kids, ain't nobody going to want you. If he's dating you, somebody else will. If I got 5 kids and I'm such a terrible person that ain't nobody going to want me, why are you here? Or you're the only person that can love me. Bullshit. You can find somebody else. If that's the reason why he's saying that you can't. If you say your skin too dark, well, believe me, somebody like it. Somebody likes it. We're going to need to have that mentality. Need to have that mentality. And why I said that is because they said that she and him was in a car arguing. If he's threatening, again, let me get off of her because I don't want her family to see this and feel disrespected or attacked. So let me remove her out of the situation. But if you are being threatened by a person that's coming to take your life, unless you're pulling up with the blicky too, ready to him, why are we arguing? Unless the argument they heard was her pleading for her life. But an argument and a pleading for my life sound like 2 different things. Let's keep watching this.
Against Harrison. Domestic violence advocates say those orders can be life-saving, but they're only one part of staying safe.
It's never a guarantee of safety. It's a barrier to try and protect them, but it doesn't guarantee protection.
We don't know the details of this specific case. However, the executive director of the Violence Prevention Center of Southwestern Illinois says leaving an abusive relationship is often far more complicated than people realize.
The abuser may manipulate in terms of saying, I'm so sorry, I'm going to get help, I'm never going to do this again. And we call that the honeymoon stage. It can keep a survivor in a relationship longer because they're...
Pause. Gotta stop it again. Action, not words. Action, not words. I'm gonna say it one more time. Action, do not make them use words. What does that mean? If a person says they're gonna change, action, go change without me. And honestly, see, by the time they leave to go change, if you really invest in yourself, you would never look back at him. I swear to God. It's not your job to heal somebody. It's not your job to fix somebody. And I think some of you guys need to hear that. It's not your job to keep somebody alive, to keep somebody happy. It's not your job. If you aren't that person's mother or father and you're not your partner's mother or father, you have a responsibility to your children. Yes, you do. But a partner, it's not your job to heal them. And you cannot heal no one. You can support a person through. But if the person isn't working on what they're working on, there's nothing you can do. And what I've observed with my 2 eyes, what I spy all my life, is that the person that is there trying to build the person tends to be the one that's broken down at the end. The I'm gonna change, the I'm sorry don't mean nothing. And even if the first I'm sorry catch you, and again, you have to roll dreams in your mind. And I think I'm really, really, really trying to go for the younger generation, like the 13 to 25s. For real, for real. Because some of us big age ones, the R's already gone through the thing, y'all. It's over for y'all. Y'all stuck where you stuck. But for the younger girls, the 13s, the 14s, the 15s, the ones that have not started dating yet, but they're gonna get into the dating market, I want to put a drill in their mind that ABUSC is not love. That you cannot fix nor change somebody. But the problem is a lot of people needs to heal in themselves, and so the only person that they feel like the only person they feel can tolerate them is a person that's also broken, because he's broken and I'm broken, so he won't judge me for the brokenness that I am. And then while you're in the relationship, you're staying with him even though he's doing all these things to you, because you say he loves you through whatever you think is your trauma and your problems. So you're going to love him through his. What really needs to be done is both of you need therapy separately. Or you're going to keep signing up for stuff like this. I'm going to say that one more time. We all separately need healing for ourselves. Because an unhealed person that's dating is signing up to end up with ending results like this. You can understand that maybe you're with somebody and you say that they'll never take your life. You can't know that for sure. But let's say that you're with somebody and you say, he'll never actually do that. Yes, he put his hands on me, but he loves me and da-da-da. Do you know that he can punch you one time and you knock the side of the dresser while you're going down and that's it for you? Do you know he can hit you so hard one time that you have brain injuries? And if he's so angry and unable, and I keep saying him because I'm predominantly speaking to women, to be honest with you, but men, same for you. But if he is so angry that in a time of disagreement that he put his hands on you, what is preventing him from taking it to the furthest extent? Obviously, he cannot handle his emotion. Obviously, he can't handle pressure and problems. So much so that he has to act out and put his hands on you. So what is the stopping factor to stop him from taking it all the way? I remember working with a girl. I can give you a story for years. I remember working with a girl, and she's probably going to see this. And I remember she was from Jersey. We were in the military, and her partner was Jamaican, and he did not have an occupation. And they had one vehicle. They had 3 children. She was so small and petite. I loved her. And I remember one day she was calling him because he needed to come get her. And we ended up having to, I think we got off early that day, off work. And so we were going home and she's calling him, and he's not picking up. And so I told her I'd give her a ride. I'm known for giving people rides, child. So I told her I'd give her a ride. And she said, okay. And so I had her in my car. And we started driving. And then she saw her car coming. And she was like, oh, that's him. And I remember that first interaction with him when I stopped my car. And she told me to wind the window down because she wanted him to see who she's in the car with because she didn't want no problems. That was already a red flag for me. I looked at her. I wound my window down because I don't want to put her in no problem. He can't say shit to me, but I don't know what he can say and do to her. You know what I mean? Plus, we lived in Virginia. So he would have had to play with somebody else, not me. Virginia, Florida, certain states, yeah, you got to play safe. So she was in my car. I ended up putting my window down just for her because I could already see that this is a DV situation without her even telling me. Her just needing him to see who was in the car was enough for me. She got out the car. She walked over he was like irritated because why are you calling me? And I like to tell people, if you know you're in a DV situation, do not come around me and try to play tough because I'm not about to step into it while he whooping your ass because he's not going to whoop mine. Because what's going to happen is he's going to try and I'm going to hit him with it. And then now I'm in court and you're going to be the same one on the stand testifying against me that I ain't had to shoot him. Because that's your baby father. He been whooping you, you been staying. No disrespect, but I'm just saying. So because we're coming at it two different ways, I'm about to be on the stand trying to plead my case on why I had to shoot him, and you're gonna be the same one there crying on the stand, making me look terribly bad when I actually got involved trying to save your ass and had to shoot him because he thought I was you and thought he could do to me what he be doing to you. So I wound the window down. She got in the car. The next day she at work. I just knew something was off. Long story short, because I don't feel like getting into the whole thing. I remember her telling me one day like her ribs were bruised. I already knew what was going on. Like I said, when she got out the car that day, I knew everything I needed to know. She ended up confiding in me. I do not know if I have the face of a person you can tell your business. I think she's going to regret me saying it now on the internet, but I'm not calling her name. She ended up confessing to me that, he'd be going through it and, he doesn't have a job. He plays video games all day. He keeps a car because she don't need the car, but he has the car. I think she was confessing to me because she found something in the car, like he was cheating or something. The kids are in daycare. So I think I asked her, I was like, well, if you say he's at home, why do you have the children in daycare? I think the daycare called her or something, and she was trying to call him to go get the kids, and he's saying he's not getting the kids because he's not being at home with the kids. He's not taking care of kids. And I guess that's why she was venting to me, like, he's at home. She has to put the kids in daycare because also another thing was she had to bring food to work every day. And I remember me trying to buy her something because we went to get something to eat and she said she wasn't coming. I said, girl, I got you. I'll pay for it. And she was just like, I don't want to do that because, I can't buy you something back. And then she's telling me her business at this point. She don't have no access to her money. He's the one that does all the finances. He drives the car. He keeps the car. He drops her off at work. Actually, they have to drop the kid. She had family planning. In the military, there's a thing called family planning where you get to come in later to work, which is like 9 a.m. instead of coming in at 6 or 7 a.m. because you have to take the children to daycare first. And, daycare don't open till 8 or 9 or whatever. So you get to come in a little bit later than the rest of us have to come in early if we don't have kids. Or we have a partner and the partner has to handle that responsibility. So I think I also asked her about that. Like, girl, what do you mean you have the kids are in daycare? And whatever. And because she had young kids. And she was like, yeah, he said he ain't watching no kids. He not doing that. So the kids have to be in daycare. And he's at the house and he plays games. And she ended up venting to me, he'd be putting hands, feet, knees, and teeth on her. But, she feels sorry for him because his mama did him bad and, was raised by his grandma. And his grandma was abusive to him. And he don't know his daddy. And he cries to her. And so she's all he got. And da-da-da. And I'm just looking at her like, shit, I can't even help you. Because I can know when I can help you and when I can't. And when I say help you, I mean, I can't do nothing for you that you're not open to do for yourself. So when I say help you, I just mean I can ask you questions that you have to answer the question. And then hopefully with you answering the question, you can realize that this ain't for you. And it's nothing crazy. Because again, I'm not going to tell you to end the relationship. Yeah, you ain't going to say I ended your good old marriage or your good old relationship because you was cool with it. I just ask you questions. Simple questions too, like, just simple questions. And you answer the questions. And if you come to the realization after answering the questions that you might need to leave him, well, I guess you got to leave him, right? But when she was speaking to me, she was speaking from a defensive point on him. She took a defensive stance on why she can't leave him and why she has to stay with him and why she doesn't pressure him and why she doesn't keep the car and everything because he had such a hard life and she's all he has. And so I remember asking, so does he tell you that, he'll take his own life if she's like, yeah, girl, how you know? In my mind, I'm like, it ain't the reason you thinking. It's because he's manipulating you, girl. I didn't say that to her, though. Long story short, she got put in the hospital, broken up. Ribs, so multiple ribs were fractured. Hands were broken. Feet were broken. Fracture in her leg. Like, he really beat her. And I want to give you a visual. When I say she's petite, I mean she's a quarter of my size. When I say petite, I mean she's skinny. She was shorter than me. I'm gonna say she was 5 feet, maybe 4'11". Skinny girl. I said, girl, I can't believe you had 3 kids. Your body giving tea. Clock that, right? This was years ago though, so nobody was saying no damn clock that. But you get the point. And him, big body dude. He was taller than me, so he was about maybe I'm gonna say 5'9". She was about 5, maybe 4'11". I'm gonna say 5, maybe 5'1". He was 5'9", thick body. He didn't have to do much to whoop her, to be honest with you. And he put the beats on her so bad, she got put in the hospital. That's how the chain of command found out. That's how the military found out what she was going through. They ended up moving her on base because she lived out in town. So they put her on the base and canceled his dependent ID card, which is the ID card you have to show to get on the military facility. They canceled that so he can no longer get access to her. They moved the children on there. They got the children into daycare on the facility so that the kids don't have to go to the daycare out there. So he has no access to the kids. And the longest part of this story, she got back with him. And the point of that is the tale he's woven of needing pity and needing care and needing somebody to love him because nobody's loved him has her so caught up in taking care of him that she's never taking care of herself. She's so busy trying to make him okay because he has nobody, allegedly, that she doesn't even realize she's not okay. Her kids aren't okay. While she's out here protecting him, there's nobody protecting her because her biggest predator, her biggest perpetrator, her biggest problem is him. So while she's out here trying to relieve him of all the pain he has in his heart, in his mind, in his soul, he's out here creating for her. She's trying to relieve him of his trauma, and he's giving her trauma. She bear the weight of everything on her shoulder. She don't have access to her money. But to her, that's love because he's pouring into her. So she's pouring into him by allowing him to treat her how he treats her because she needs to be there for him. And he's pouring into her by being possessive, obsessive, and abusive. And I don't know if she'll ever see this to know I'm talking about her, and I hope she got away from him. And if she hasn't, but the point of that story is to tell you, he needed counseling, he needed therapy, he did not need her. She needed counseling, she needed healing, because the effort and the time that she was putting in to build him, she needed to build herself. He broke her down. And everything she was putting in to build him up was going nowhere. Because he didn't need building, he needed therapy. He needed to build himself. Let's keep going with this and end it.
Holding on to the hope that change is coming.
Court records also show
May manipulate in terms of saying, I'm so sorry, I'm going to get help, I'm never going to do this again. And we call that the honeymoon stage. It can keep a survivor in a relationship longer because they're holding on to the hope that change is coming.
One more thing, I'm Jamaican, so I'm going to say this part. I know I keep stopping it, just work with me here. I'm Jamaican. And there's a lot of women that I know that are in DV situation, but they like it. I know that for the people that are not into DV, it's like, bitch, what? Yes, I know a lot of women that are into DV. They like DV. They like to tussle and bustle about with their partners. It's fun. And I remember talking to a few women, different women. Some of them don't even know each other. And the one thing that they can tell you that they like about it is the honeymoon phase that she's talking about. They can be together 20 years and still get the honeymoon phase because every time he put hands, feet, knees, and teeth on her, she gets a honeymoon phase because now he's trying to make up to her. And I remember talking to a Jamaican, and I'm going to say it in Jamaican, and then I'm going to say it in proper English so you guys understand what I'm saying. I remember her saying to me, oh, you mean, mama? When the boy beats you, do this so, you have to bleach out, you have to chrome, so when the boy beats you, you just bruise up, and every time the boy see you, I'm sorry for you, I'm grieve, so the boy do the things them for you and treat you good, mama, you're crazy, boy, for beat girl and girl forget beating. What did I just say? She told me, or multiple of them, but I remember speaking to two specific women and they were gangsters. I won't get into how gangster they was, but they was gangsters. And I remember saying it to them because I remember watching a girl getting her ass dragged, beat, all types of stuff in the street. And because she was dating a gangster. And so these two females that I know for a fact keep up, you know what I mean? And they gets busy with it. I'm talking to them because I'm thinking they got the same mindset I got. And I was, 14 at the time? They were big aged. And I remember saying to them, like, that's wild. Like, no boy can put their hands on me. And this is what they said to me. Oh, you mean, like, what are you talking about? Yes. DV is a part of every relationship. That's how you get the good part of the relationship. That's how you get the honeymoon phase. Because every time, first and foremost, in Jamaica, you got to bleach. Bleach is you have to lighten your skin tone, right? So they're saying to me, you have to lighten your skin tone, which makes it easier for you to be bruised. It takes nothing for you to bruise when your skin tone is lightened because your skin, your pigmentation, the melanin in your skin is gone. And then your skin is very, very tender, very, very susceptible to bruising. And so when he puts his hands on you, you get bruised. And then every time he sees the bruising, he feels sorry for you. And now he starts treating you good and he's loving on you and he's this and he's that. So sometimes they're going to create issues. They're going to argue with him. They're going to begin the altercation, like put hands on him first for him to follow up because she knows she can't really beat him because it comes with a honeymoon phase. And I remember saying to myself, just processing it one time that, again, 30 seconds of an ass whooping is very long. So let's say that you get a 30-second whooping from your partner. There's 24 hours in a day. 30 seconds still leaves 23 hours, 59 minutes, and 30 seconds to have a good time. And that's how I get to understand that some of you guys are still there because, yes, you had a bad situation for 30 seconds. And even if you have a bad situation every day, it's 30 seconds every day. And that's why I want to get to the 13 to the 25-year-olds to tell you, you got to set it in your mind, run that drill in your mind that it's a no for me. Because there's some people who is just hands, feet, knees, and teeth, and then there's some people like this lady. And I need us to start thinking of our kids. Think of our children. Because there's some people, when they're doing it to the kids too. It's not just you. But even if it's just you, your children now don't have a parent. And even if it's their father that has done this to you and he doesn't take himself out, he's going to prison. Do you want to leave your children in his hands? Even if he gets away with it. So let's say he never gets caught for doing it to you. You want to leave your children in his hands? And this is why I preach protecting yourself and standing 10 toes on the drill of it ain't happening, Captain. All right, let me finish this so we can hop in the comment section.
Court records also show another woman had an order of protection against Harrison. The Violence Prevention Center provides emergency shelter counseling and legal advocacy for survivors safely trying to leave an abusive relationship. If you or someone you know needs help, you can call their 24-hour crisis hotline at 618-235-0892. Live in Cahokia Heights, Megan Kernan, 5 on your side.
Tonight, police in Cahokia Heights say a murder.
Okay. You guys know how I felt already about that. I've gotten that out there. Let's hop in the comment section so we can see what's being said. All right, I'm about to hop in the comment section. There's only 7 comments. So let's see what the comments are saying. So Mongoose Junction says, order of protection seems worthless. It never stops anything. Again, it's just a piece of paper. It's just a paper trail that you need if you have to take the extensive step of having to take his life or having to threat him, then you can show, officer, this is what's going on. Again, please remember, record the conversation if you live in a state that you can record the conversation. Get you a weapon if you live in a state where you can get a weapon. Go to the range so you learn precision and accuracy. Again, all you got to do is hit body mass. Body mass is the torso from here to above the waist. You can hit it. I promise you, it's not that hard. You don't got to be able to hit him in hard. No. You just want to back his ass up. You can do it. Please go to the range. But again, order of protection is just a piece of paper. And saying that you're going to call law enforcement is cute, but it takes them however long it takes them to get there, and sometimes it takes an hour. And if, I'm going to be honest with you, if you live in a household where you're consistently calling law enforcement, so this happened a couple times, it sounds wrong, but I kind of understand it. Please don't, I mean, you can cuss me. I'll take the cussing. But I understand it. It's like, why do you keep calling me? Like, you're calling me. When we try to press charges, you're not pressing charges. You're not showing up to court. Nothing is happening. So it's just like, you're wasting our time, ma'am. And honestly, you got to remember, police are human. Law enforcement is human. They don't want to waste time because the prosecutor is not going to prosecute it because you're not working with the prosecutor to prosecute him. You get what I mean? So it's like you're wasting my time to come over here. Somebody else over here that's actually having some form of emergency that I want to go over there to help them. I don't want to come help you because you've called us like 3 times this week. And every time you don't follow up. And actually, we put him out the house. You have an order of protection. He's not supposed to be here, but you're still letting him in the house. It's just like, we get the psychology of it, but the reality of it is we're annoyed. You're okay with it to a certain extent until it's too much, and then you're calling us. We're telling you to end it, leave it, break it up, but you don't want to. What do you want us to do? So sometimes the cops are showing up like, and that's messed up, but it's reality. It's human. Think about if you have a neighbor, and the neighbor is over there and they get active consistently. You've called the cops on them. And when they walk out that house, and mind you, this actually happened to somebody. I know somebody that lived in a house, and I think it was the apartment to the left or the right. I don't remember which one. He be putting the beats on her every day. She was catching it. She lived in an apartment complex. And so eventually she called the cops. The police is not supposed to tell them, but I don't know if the police told the neighbors or they came to knock her door to talk to her. So, you know what I mean? Or whatever. But I guess they figured it was her. And after that, the guy, like, he was basically trying to, trying to threaten her a little bit. And the girl had an attitude with her, was threatening her, and that never happened, and they're lying and all of that. And so after that, she just had to listen to it because calling the cops does nothing. You gotta remember, we're all human, so the police are human too. They come out there 3-4 times. On the 5th time, they're just like, God damn, here we go again. They just assume you both like it and you both are toxic. Somebody said terrible. Order of protection is a joke. Just makes the ABUSER more pissed off, honestly. It just makes them more pissed off. So if you're not following this up with protecting yourself for real, you just put yourself in a bigger predicament to possibly be harmed. Another thing, if you're about to date somebody and he has the reputation of being this, I mean, I don't think I need to tell you not to. If you meet somebody and he has a long story about how somebody took out an order of protection on him, listen, I'm not going to tell nobody what to do, even though I've been kind of telling you what to do this whole video. But listen, I remember saying to somebody one time, I don't need to be the practice because he ain't going to make it perfect with me. What do I mean? Somebody got an order of protection on him. He has a long story of why this heifer got an order of protection and she's just miserable. And I'm not going to sit around and find out. That's a red flag for me. I'm out. Somebody has got you, big fella. Somebody's going to take the chance on you. I'm not. But that's just because I want to protect myself so much, I'm willing to walk away from my life. I don't need you in my life that bad because I don't need to stand around to figure out if the order of protection that girl took out was legit or not. There's somebody that's okay with it, but it ain't going to be me. And as weird as it sounds, you see, if all of us was not putting up with it, they would eventually have to stop because they can't get nobody. Because nobody want to be with them. If they knew that every single time they cheated, somebody would leave them, eventually they had to get their shit together. But there's always somebody to cheat with, and there's always somebody to keep the cheating, and there's always somebody that believes that everybody cheat. And the same thing with ABUSERs. There's always somebody that's going to stay. There's always somebody that's going to make an excuse for it. There's always somebody that's used to it. And so therefore, they will always have a victim. Somebody said, does Cahokia have online public court records where this woman that lost her life could have found where her boyfriend had assaulted another woman? If not, why not? How many of you are actually going to check the websites? Because to be honest, there are websites. There are many websites out here. Some of them you have to pay for, maybe pay $20 or so for, and then you can actually get records of people. Truthfully, there's so many different ones on your phone. It's apps on your phone, where you can run a person's name and it pulls up all their arrest records and everything over all states, not even just one state. Tell you everywhere they've ever lived. Tell you if they've ever been married, if they've ever been divorced, if they have child support payments that they need to make. I would actually found one of those apps. I don't even need a sponsorship. I'm going to go and really delve deeper and tell you a couple of those apps, even without a sponsorship or nothing, because I think you guys really need to use it. But how many people are actually going to check it? And I realized that a lot of relationships start from hookups. Because it starts from a hookup, the main purpose initially was intercourse. It was sexual gratification. So when it transferred to a relationship, the vetting process never changed, even though you vetted him for intercourse, not to be a father, not to be a husband, not to be a partner, not to be a support system. Not to be emotionally intelligent, because you didn't care if he's emotionally intelligent or not. You're trying to find out how you give it up in the bedroom, big fella. Is you big or not? Is you giving me what I need? Or can you do it? Right? Can you rock the boat? But then when you transfer that to a relationship, you guys don't redo the vetting process to see if they would actually be a good father, to see if they would actually be a good partner. And I think a lot of times that's where the problem comes in, based on observation. Let me finish these last comments. Somebody said, a female deputy in Robertson County, Tennessee, lost her life by her ex-boyfriend January 2022 because she could not find any history of his previous DVs, even though there were several, because they were not being made public. Her mother pushed for these criminal records to become online several months later. If you do not make criminal histories easily accessible to the public, the only people you are protecting is a criminal. This needs to change nationwide. I do agree with that. And then we need to push for people to actually utilize these websites and take a red flag as a red flag. All police departments need to start coughing up police records. Elsewise, criminals will run and hide in areas that try to keep this info secret, like so many have done in our country. Somebody says, my daughter's BFF from junior high. R.I.P. Danny Sue. Ooh, so somebody specifically knew her. Justin Edwards said he's in hell, in there where he belongs. Somebody said, I'm sorry, I have a question for you. Why didn't someone take her to a shelter and get her away from him before he pew-pewed her? Stop. I'm tired of hearing this. Who is this someone that's supposed to do this? I understand we don't victim blame. I get that. But who is this someone that you want to do this? Who is this someone? Because I don't know if you guys realize that she's an adult and she has choices and she can say yes or no. And if she is not doing it, what are we going to do? Everybody knows where a shelter is and everybody knows what a shelter is. Come on, let's throw blame where blame needs to be. He shouldn't have did it. But saying that somebody should have put her in a shelter, who is this somebody? And you got to remember that people are adults. This is not a kid. A child is different. So the 16-year-old that had to run, she didn't have a choice. She didn't date that man. I'm sure she didn't have a say in who her mother dated. The kids that lost their mother, they're complete victims. They don't have a choice in who their parents date. They're just here to like him or not. But an adult is an adult. An adult gets to make choices. And I understand that she's a victim and we're going to give her that. But who is supposed to put her in a shelter? Because the police can let you do nothing you don't want to do. Okay. I'm sorry, I have a question for you. Why didn't someone take her to a shelter and get her away from him before he pew-pewed her? Sorry, it's just one-sided. Oh, that's just the first step in filing a restraining order. It's just the first step. Nobody in the police department knows about it. It's not spoken about. Oh, I get it. There's really no damn protection. I got it. Thank you. Tinsy, I get that you are upset. But you have to understand, again, a police doesn't live in your house. A police is at the station. A police can only work with what you're telling me. At the end of the day, you got to also remember, people be lying. There's more truth, but people be lying. People do be lying. I mean, you ain't seen these Karens out here that's calling the police for no reason. People be lying. You have to prove your case, which is why I said record it, record the calls, just walk with a recorders are cheap. I've seen one the other day for $7.99. Put one in your bag. Every time you see him press record, just get the recorded. And then use that as evidence to get your order of protection. But a piece of paper don't do nothing for you. Go and learn how to fire a firearm. You better build a heart to do it. Because obviously he has the heart to take your life. You better have the heart to stay here for your kids, to stay here for yourself, to protect yourself. That's the comment section. RIP to her. I wish the best for her children, her 5 children, and her mother. I hope that financially they're able to recover. That 16-year-old is traumatized. If I could afford it, I would have paid for her therapy myself. I'd pay for therapy for everybody, including the mother. And the one thing that I can do is use these stories to tell a story and to use it to run drills, to give training, and to hopefully hear that somebody hears me. A piece of paper, which is an order of protection, does nothing for you. If you don't want that order of protection dismissed, you need proof. So get a lot of proof. Record these phone calls if he's calling you to threaten you. Screenshot these text messages if he's threatening you. Get a tape recorder to put in your card and all these places that he might be running into you. Press record. Yes, you have your phone, but I wouldn't suggest you agitate a person that's threatening to take your life. So popping out the phone and putting it in his face does nothing. Because if he pew-pews you, he just takes the phone. And if he's doing like what this this dickhead did. Pew pew you and pew pew himself. Who cares if you recorded it, right? So do not agitate the situation if you don't have to. Buy a $7.99 recorder, and whenever you see him coming, just press it in your bag. Take that to the police station. Get your order of protection, and then you better get the heart to shoot, because you're gonna need a pistol. You're gonna need to go down by that range and get something. And if you live in a state where you can't have a gun, then it sounds like you need to vet 10 times better. I know nobody wants to hear that, because being told to vet properly irritates a lot of people. It does not irritate me, because I believe in it. You're going to have to spend the time to truly get to know this person. And 3 and 6 months is not enough to know somebody, because most people will be pretending even for the first year. And take red flags to red flags and haul you behind. And I'm going to add this last part that has nothing to specifically do with her, but it has to do with everybody. If you have children, you need to start making decisions for your children and not for yourself. Who you date affects your kids. Because in a situation like this, if he takes your life, your kids don't have a parent. Especially if you're a single parent. That's crazy. No. The moment you choose to have a child, and if you're having sex and you're choosing to have a child, because sex is a procreation, you can get pregnant at any time. So unless he has a vasectomy and you're on contraceptive, then you're choosing to have a child. I just said what I said and I mean it. If you are not on contraceptive, you're choosing to have the child. And sorry, if you don't have a vasectomy, you're choosing to have a child. Vasectomies are reversible. Go get a vasectomy. If you are 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 20, whatever your age is, and you're not ready for a kid, go get a vasectomy. It is reversible. And if you're talking about, I don't want no knife behind my penis, oh my God, you're willing to have one night stands with randos that you don't know raw. You can go get a doctor to touch you. He's sterilizing his equipment and he's putting on gloves. You'll be fine. They're female doctors if it's that bad and you don't want a man. Go get a female doctor. Go get a vasectomy if you're not ready for kids. Ma'am, get on contraception if you're not ready for kids, because sex is for procreation. And having sex means you can have a child. And the moment you choose to have sex, you're choosing to have a child. And the moment you become a parent, it's not about you no more. It's about your kids. I wish everybody the best. May she rest in peace. May her family recover. And this is where I'll end it. Our order of protection is it's a piece of paper. It cannot protect you. You need to get a weapon. You need to get evidence. The order of protection will be dismissed. If you don't have enough evidence, get evidence. And stop caring about the person that's ABUs in you more than you care about yourself, because that's what it looks like if you're protecting them and they're not protecting you, because you need protection from them. So they could never be protecting you. They're your biggest enemy, your biggest op. They sleep beside you every night. They can do anything to you. Chris Watts, the man that is incarcerated within 5 life sentences, that took his pregnant wife's life, he did it right after having intercourse with her. He strangled her right there in the house, right after having intimate moments with her. And then he took the life of his 2 daughters. Never say never. Love yourself more than you love the person. Because if they're doing all that, they don't love you. All right. I'll see you in another comment section.